Hello, everyone. Welcome to English in Advance. My name is Jessica, and I am your host for today. Have you ever felt that frustrating gap between the English you learn in a classroom and the English you hear in movies, on the streets, or in conversations with native speakers? You know all the grammar rules, you have a great vocabulary, but when you listen to someone speak naturally, it sounds like a fast, blurry stream of sounds. If that sounds familiar, I want you to know that you are not alone, and you have come to the perfect place. Today, we are going to close that gap. This podcast is designed to be your personal listening gym, where we will train your ears to catch the real rhythm, the music, and the flow of everyday English. We won't be focusing on boring grammar drills. Instead, we're going to dive deep into real-life situations, short stories, and common conversations. I'll guide you step by step, helping you understand why native English sounds the way it does. We'll break down how words connect, how sounds disappear, and how the melody of a sentence can change its meaning. My goal is for you to leave this session feeling more confident and capable of understanding and participating in any English conversation. So find a comfortable spot, relax your mind, and let your ears do the work. Let's begin this journey together and advance your English listening skills. Let's start with a situation that I'm sure you've experienced. Imagine you're standing in a bustling coffee shop. The air is filled with the aroma of roasted coffee beans and the gentle hum of conversations. You hear the person in front of you step up to the counter and say, "Hi, can I get a large iced coffee with a little bit of milk?" It sounds simple, right? But when spoken quickly, it can be a challenge. The speaker doesn't say, "Can I get a..." Instead, the words melt together. Listen again at a natural pace. "Can I get a large iced coffee?" Did you hear that? "Can I get a" becomes "Can I get a?" This is called connected speech, and it's the number one reason why spoken English can sound so fast. The end of one word links smoothly to the beginning of the next. Let's practice this together. I want you to repeat after me. We'll start slowly and then we'll build up speed just like a musician practicing a song. Ready? Let's say it very clearly first. Can I get a large iced coffee? Great. Now let's try to connect the first few words. Say, "Can I?" Again, "Can I?" Now let's add "get a." Say, "I get a." It sounds more like "get a." Now let's put it all together, a little faster, copying the natural flow. "Can I get a large iced coffee?" Fantastic. Practicing this shadowing technique where you listen and repeat is incredibly powerful. You're not just learning words, you're learning the music of the language. Let's stay in that coffee shop for another moment. The barista replies to the customer, "Sure, is that all for you?" Listen to how "for you" sounds. It's not "for you." It's often reduced to "for ya." This is another key feature of natural speech called reduction. Unimportant words or function words like for, to, at, are often unstressed, and their vowel sounds become weak. The O in for and the ow in you both become a soft sound, almost like for ya. Let's try repeating that phrase. Slowly first. "Sure, is that all for you?" Now, let's try it with the natural reduction, a bit faster. "Sure, is that all for ya?" By practicing this, your ears start to expect these changes. So when you hear "for ya" in a real conversation, your brain will instantly recognize it as "for you." Now let's move into a short listening exercise. I'm going to tell you a very short story. The first time, I just want you to listen. Don't try to repeat. Just close your eyes and try to visualize the scene. Ready? Here's the story. Yesterday morning, I was running late for work. I couldn't find my keys anywhere. I looked on the table next to the sofa and in my coat pockets. Finally, I found them in the kitchen, right next to the fruit bowl. I grabbed them and ran out the door just in time to catch my bus. Did you catch the main idea? The story is about losing keys and being in a rush. Some parts might have sounded very fast, like ran out the door. Let's break that down. We don't say ran out the door. The N at the end of ran connects to the ow in out, creating ran out. And out the often sounds like out the. So it all flows together. Ran out the door. Let's practice that specific phrase. Repeat after me slowly. Ran out the door. Now let's connect the sounds and say it at a natural speed. Ran out the door. Wonderful. Let's try another part from the story. I couldn't find my keys anywhere. The phrase couldn't find is a great example of elision, where a sound is dropped. We don't really pronounce the T in couldn't very strongly, especially when it's followed by a consonant like the F in find. It sounds more like couldn't find. Let's practice that. Repeat slowly. I couldn't find my keys. Now, a little faster, letting that T sound almost disappear. I couldn't find my keys. You're doing an amazing job. This is exactly how you retrain your brain to understand the shortcuts and patterns of real, spoken English. Let's try a quick-fire challenge. I'm going to say 3 common sentences at a natural, fast pace. I want you to just listen first, then I'll break them down for you to practice. Ready? 1. What are you doing tonight? 2. I've got to go now. 3. Do you want to get some lunch? Okay, they sound fast, don't they? Let's take the first one. What are you doing tonight? In fast speech, this often becomes, what you doing tonight? The what are you mashes together to sound like whatcha, and the G at the end of doing is often dropped, which is very common in informal speech. Let's practice this transformation. Say it slowly with me first. What are you doing tonight? Now let's try the fast, natural version. What you doing tonight? Excellent. Now for the second one, I've got to go now. This is almost always shortened to, I gotta go now. Got to becomes gotta. This is a standard reduction you will hear constantly. Let's practice. Slowly, I've gotta go now. And now the natural version, I gotta go now. Perfect. And the last one, do you want to get some lunch? This one has 2 common reductions. Do you often becomes dia, and want to becomes wanna. So the whole sentence sounds like, do you want to get some lunch? Let's practice that. Slowly. Do you want to get some lunch? And now let's say it like a native speaker in a hurry. Do you want to get some lunch? See? It's like learning a secret code. Once you know the rules of these reductions and connections, listening becomes so much easier. Now let's change the scene. Picture yourself walking into a clothing store. You're looking for a new shirt. An employee approaches you with a friendly smile and asks, "Can I help you find anything?" You reply, "Yes, I'm looking for a blue shirt." Let's focus on the employee's question. Can I help you find anything? Listen to the intonation. The pitch of the voice rises at the end. Find anything. This rising intonation is a key signal that someone is asking a yes or no question. It's a musical cue for your brain. Now let's look at the sounds. Help you often blends together to sound like help ya. The P from help and the Y from you create a sound that's almost like help cha or help ya. Let's practice saying that question. First, slowly and clearly paying attention to each word. Can I help you find anything? Great. Now let's try it at a conversational pace with the blended sound and the rising intonation at the end. Can I help you find anything? It sounds much more natural, doesn't it? Your response was, I'm looking for a blue shirt. Here the important stressed words are looking, blue, and shirt. The other words, I'm and for a, are unstressed and spoken quickly. For a becomes fear a. Listen, I'm looking for you a blue shirt. Let's practice that line. Slowly, I'm looking for a blue shirt. Now, with the natural rhythm and reductions, I'm looking for blue shirt. You're really getting the hang of this. Let's do another short story for you to listen to. Again, the first time through, just listen. Try to absorb the meaning without worrying about every single word. Here we go. Last weekend, I decided to clean out my garage. It was a huge mess. There were old boxes, broken tools, and a bicycle I hadn't used in years. I spent all of Saturday sorting through everything. I made a pile to donate, a pile to throw away, and a small pile of things to keep. By the end of the day, I was exhausted, but the garage looked amazing. It felt so good to finally get it done. So, the story is about cleaning a messy garage. Did you notice the phrase clean out? This is a phrasal verb, and English is full of them. Clean out means to clean a space thoroughly by removing everything. Now, let's examine some of the fast speech in that story. How about this sentence? I spent all of Saturday sorting through everything. The phrase all of is almost always reduced to all so it sounds like all Saturday. Let's practice that piece. Slowly, all of Saturday. Now, naturally, all Saturday. Great. And how about the end of the story? It felt so good to finally get it done. The three words, get it done, are a great example of linking. The T in get is followed by the vowel I in it, so it links and the T sound becomes a soft D, or a flap T sound, common in American English. It sounds like get it. Then the T in it links to the D in done. But since they are similar sounds, we often just say one, smooth sound, get it done. Let's practice that phrase, which means to complete a task. Slowly, get it done. Now, linking all the sounds together smoothly and naturally, get it done. See how it flows? One more from that story. The phrase throw away. Throw away means to discard something, to put it in the trash. The W at the end of throw links directly to the A in away. So it sounds like one continuous word, throw away. Let's repeat that. Throw away. Fantastic. It's time for another quick-fire challenge. Remember, I'll say 3 sentences fast and then we'll break them down together. Ready? 1. I don't know what to do. 2. She's been studying for hours. 3. Could you give me a hand with this? Okay, let's dissect them. Number 1. I don't know what to do. The phrase, I don't know, is so common that it often gets mashed into, I don't know. The T in don't disappears, and the words just flow together, and what to do becomes what to do. So the whole thing sounds like, I don't know what to do. Let's practice. Slowly first. I don't know what to do. Now, the super common, fast, informal version. I don't know what to do. Perfect. Now for number 2, she's been studying for hours. Here, for is unstressed, so it becomes fur. And notice the stress is on the first syllable of studying. The rhythm is like da-da-da. Listen, she's been studying for hours. The sentence has a clear, rhythmic pulse. Let's repeat that, focusing on the rhythm. She's been studying for hours. Wonderful. And number 3, could you give me a hand with this? Could you often blends to become could ya. Give me reduces to gimme, and with this links together. So the fast version is, could ya gimme a hand with this? Give me a hand is a common idiom meaning help me. Let's practice this useful phrase. Slowly, could you give me a hand with this? And now, the natural, helpful-sounding version. Could ya gimme a hand with this? You are doing so well. Each one of these you master is a huge step forward in your listening journey. Let's imagine a new scenario. You're on the phone, making plans with a friend. Your friend says, "Hey, what are you up to this weekend?" You reply, "Not much. I was thinking of going to the movies." Your friend sounds excited and says, "That sounds like a good idea. What do you want to see?" Let's analyze this conversation. First, what are you up to? This is a very common way to ask, what are you doing? In fast speech, again, what are you becomes whatcha. So it sounds like, what you up to this weekend? Let's practice that question. Slowly, what are you up to this weekend? Now, naturally, what you up to this weekend? Your reply was, not much. I was thinking of going to the movies. The phrase thinking of reduces to thinkin' The G in thinking is dropped and of becomes Listen, I was thinking going to the movies. Let's repeat that. Slowly first, I was thinking of going to the movies. And now, the relaxed conversational version. I was thinking going to the movies. Finally, your friend says, that sounds like a good idea. The word that is quick, and the stress is on sounds, good, and idea. The rhythm is da 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 da. This rhythm, the stress pattern of a sentence, is called sentence stress, and it's just as important as pronouncing the words correctly. Hearing the rhythm helps you understand the meaning. Let's practice that line, trying to copy the rhythm. That sounds like a good idea. Excellent. Now it's time for another listening story. Remember, just listen and relax the first time. Let the story wash over you. Here it is. My sister has been learning to play the guitar for about a year now. At first, it was pretty rough. All I could hear were squeaky sounds and wrong notes. But she didn't give up. She practiced every single day for at least half an hour. She would watch online videos and try to copy the songs. Slowly, I started to recognize the melodies. Last night, she played a full song for me, and it was actually really good. I was so proud of her for sticking with it. It's a nice story about perseverance, isn't it? Let's look at some of the language. The phrase give up is another phrasal verb meaning to quit or stop trying. Now, let's find some fast speech examples. How about for at least half an hour? The words at and an are unstressed. At least sounds like at least, with the T linking to the L. Half an hour is a great example of linking. We don't pronounce the H in hour, so the F sound at the end of half links directly to the U sound in hour, making it sound like half an hour. The whole phrase flows, for at least half an hour. Let's practice just that part, slowly, for at least half an hour. Now, let's try the smooth, connected version, for at least half an hour. Great work. Let's look at another sentence. I was so proud of her for sticking with it. The phrase proud of her is interesting. In fast, casual speech, the H in her is often dropped when it's unstressed. So, proud of her sounds like proud of her. And sticking with it links together. The NG in sticking links to the W in with, and the thieth in with links to the I in it. It's a chain of sounds, stickin' with it. The whole sentence sounds like, I was so proud of her for sticking with it. Let's try saying the whole thing. Slowly first, I was so proud of her for sticking with it. And now, let's try the flowing, natural version. I was so proud of her for sticking with it. It might feel a bit strange to drop sounds like this, but this is how people really speak, and the more you practice it, the more your ears will be tuned to hear it. Here we go with another quick fire round. Listen to these 3 sentences, and then we'll practice them. 1. He should have been here by now. 2. I'm going to go to the store. 3. Let me know if you need anything. Okay, let's break them down. The first one, he should have been here by now, contains a very common reduction. Should have is almost always contracted to should have, which sounds like shoulda. So the sentence is, he should have been here by now. Or even faster, he should have been here by now. This happens with could have, could've, coulda, and would have, would've, woulda as well. It's a critical pattern to recognize. Let's practice. Slowly, he should have been here by now. And the fast, common version, he should have been here by now. Excellent. Now for number 2, I'm going to go to the store. This is a classic. Going to is famously reduced to gonna, but we have it twice here. Well, not exactly. The first, going to, which indicates the future tense, becomes gonna. The second, go to, which indicates direction, is usually reduced to go to. So the sentence becomes, I'm gonna go to the store. It's a subtle but important difference. Let's practice. Slowly, I'm going to go to the store. And now, the supernatural, reduced version, I'm gonna go to the store. Perfect. Finally, number 3. Let me know if you need anything. Let me is frequently reduced to lemme. You just soften the T sound. The rest of the sentence flows pretty clearly, so it becomes, let me know if you need anything. Let's try it. Slowly, let me know. And now, quickly, let me know. Now the whole sentence, let me know if you need anything. You are doing an absolutely fantastic job. These are the kinds of phrases that can trip up learners, but now you have the key to understanding them. Let's imagine a new setting. You're at the airport waiting in the security line. It's noisy and there are lots of announcements. You hear over the loudspeaker, this is the final boarding call for Flight 3B to London. A person behind you asks their friend, did he say Flight 3B or 3D? Their friend replies, I'm not sure, I couldn't really hear it. Let's analyze this. The announcement, this is the final boarding call for Flight 3B to London. The important stressed words are final, boarding call, flight, 3B, and London. The other words are quick. This is the becomes this is the. For becomes fur. To becomes ta. The rhythm is this is the final boarding call for Flight 3B to London. Hearing that stress pattern helps you pick out the key information even in a noisy environment. Now, let's look at the conversation. Did he say Flight 3B or 3D? This is a choice question, and the intonation is interesting. The voice goes up on the first choice, 3B, and then goes down on the second choice, 3D. Listen, did he say Flight 3B up or 3D down? This musical pattern signals that the listener has to choose between 2 options. Let's practice that question, copying the intonation. Did he say Flight 3B or 3D? Great. The reply was, I'm not sure, I couldn't really hear it. The phrase I couldn't really is spoken quickly. The focus is on sure and hear. Listen to the rhythm. I'm not sure. I couldn't really hear it. The phrase hear it links together to sound like hear it. Let's practice that reply, focusing on the stress and linking. I'm not sure. I couldn't really hear it. Fantastic. Now for our next listening story. Just listen and form a picture in your mind. When I was a kid, my family used to go camping every summer. We would pack up our tent, sleeping bags, and a cooler full of food and drive for hours to a national park. My favorite part was sitting around the campfire at night. My dad would tell scary stories and we would roast marshmallows. The stars always looked so much brighter out there, away from the city lights. I haven't been camping in a long time, but I still think about those trips. They're some of my best memories. What a lovely memory. Let's explore the language. The phrase used to is used to talk about past habits or states that are no longer true. We used to go camping. In speech, used to sounds like used to. The D sound disappears. Let's practice that. We used to go camping. Great. Now let's look at pack up. Another phrasal verb, meaning to put things into a container, like a box or a bag. Now for the fast speech. How about this sentence? We would pack up our tent, sleeping bags, and a cooler full of food. The phrase full of is almost always reduced to full a. So, a cooler full of food. Let's practice that little piece. A cooler full of food. Perfect. Now how about this one? My dad would tell scary stories and we would roast marshmallows. The word and is a function word that is very often reduced. It can sound like n or just a quick an. Listen, stories and we would roast. It's very fast. Let's try saying that whole sentence, reducing the and. My dad would tell scary stories and we would roast marshmallows. Excellent. One last bit from the story. They're some of my best memories. Some of is often reduced to some so it sounds like there's some my best memories. Let's repeat that. There's some of my best memories. This is such a common pattern. Recognizing it will unlock so much of what you hear. It's challenge time again. Are you ready? I'll say 3 sentences. You listen, and then we practice. 1. What kind of music do you like? 2. I should have told you earlier. 3. We're running out of time. Okay, let's get to it. Number 1. What kind of music do you like? Kind of is a very common phrase that gets reduced to kinda, and do you becomes dia. So the question is transformed into, what kind of music do you like? It's much smoother and more fluid. Let's practice it. Slowly. What kind of music do you like? Now, the natural flowing version. What kind of music do you like? Perfect. Number 2. I should have told you earlier. We've seen should have becomes should've or shoulda. Here, let's look at told you. This often sounds like told ya. The D and Y sounds combine to make a J sound. So the sentence is, I should have told ya earlier. Let's try that. Slowly. I should have told you earlier. And now, the fast connected version. I should have told ya earlier. Brilliant. And number 3, we're running out of time. Out of gets reduced to outa. This is just like got to becomes gotta, and want to becomes wanna. Out of becomes outa. The sentence is, we're running out of time. Let's practice that. Slowly, we're running out of time. And the fast, urgent version, we're running out of time. You are building an incredible toolkit of listening skills. This is exactly what it takes to go from an intermediate learner to an advanced, confident listener. Let's continue to explore different situations. Imagine you are at a doctor's office for a checkup. The nurse calls your name and says, "The doctor will be with you in a moment." You can have a seat right over there. You sit down, and a few minutes later, the doctor comes in and says, "Good morning." So what seems to be the problem? Let's break this down. The nurse's phrase, "in a moment," is a polite way of saying soon. Notice how "in a" links together, in a moment. The doctor's question, "What seems to be the problem?" is a standard way to ask why a patient is there. The key stress falls on seems and problem. What seems to be the problem? The words "to be the" are spoken very quickly and without stress. To be the. Let's practice saying the doctor's question with the correct rhythm. What seems to be the problem? Excellent. Now let's imagine your reply. You could say, "I've had a bad cough for a few days." The phrase, "I've had a" links together smoothly. I've had a. And "for a few days" becomes "for a few days." The whole sentence flows. Let's practice it. I've had a bad cough for a few days. This kind of language is practical, and practicing it in context makes it much easier to remember and recognize. And now, let's have another story for you to practice your extended listening. Just listen for now. Last month, I signed up for a pottery class. I had never done anything like it before, and I was a little bit nervous. The first class was all about learning how to control the clay on the spinning wheel. It was much harder than it looked. My first creation was a lopsided bowl that couldn't hold anything. I almost gave up, but the instructor was really encouraging. She said that everyone's first pot looks like a mess. So I kept at it, and by the fourth class, I managed to make a small cup that actually looked like a cup. It's not perfect, but I made it, and I can't wait to see what I make next. A great story about trying something new. The phrasal verb sign up for means to register for something, like a class or a service. Kept at it is a wonderful idiom that means to continue trying to do something difficult. Now, let's look for some natural speech features. How about, "I was a little bit nervous"? A little bit is often shortened. The final T sounds often disappear, so it sounds like "a little bit nervous." But even more common is for bit of to link and flap, sounding like bid ua. For example, "I need a bit of sugar" becomes "I need a bit of sugar." Here, a little bit just flows. Let's practice that phrase. I was a little bit nervous. Great. Now this sentence, it was much harder than it looked. The word than is often reduced to thun, and it links to looked. So it sounds like it was much harder than it looked. Let's try saying that with the reductions. It was much harder than it looked. Perfect. And one more. I can't wait to see what I make next. Can't wait to becomes can't wait to. The words are all crunched together. Let's practice that. I can't wait to see what I make next. By now, these reductions should be starting to sound familiar to you. That's the goal. You know what time it is. Quick fire challenge. Listen closely to these three. 1. I'm not sure what you're talking about. 2. He's supposed to be here at 7. 3. Would you mind if I opened the window? Okay, let's unpack them. Number 1. I'm not sure what you're talking about. What you're is often reduced to whatcha or what you're. Let's use what you're here, and talking about links together with the G in talking being soft. So the whole sentence sounds like, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Let's try it. Slowly, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Now, the connected, natural version, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Excellent. Number 2. He's supposed to be here at 7. The phrase supposed to is a big one. It's almost always reduced to supposta. The D and T merge into one sound, so the sentence is, he's supposed to be here at 7. This is a huge one to learn. Let's practice it. Slowly. He's supposed to be here at 7. And now, as you'll hear it in every movie and conversation, he's supposed to be here at 7. Fantastic. And number 3, would you mind if I open the window? Would you is another classic blend, becoming would ya. So the question is, would ya mind if I open the window? This is a very polite way to ask for permission. Let's practice. Slowly, would you mind? Now quickly, would ya mind? And the whole question, would ya mind if I open the window? You're mastering the key patterns that make up the sound of everyday English. This is incredible progress. As we come towards the end of our practice session today, I want to leave you with one final story. It's a little longer, so just relax and see how much you can understand now after all the work we've done. A few years ago, I took a trip to Japan by myself. I'd always wanted to go, but I was nervous about traveling alone, especially since I didn't speak the language. But I decided I had to just go for it. It turned out to be one of the best experiences of my life. I got lost almost every day, but that's how I discovered the most amazing little ramen shops and quiet temples. People were incredibly kind. One time, an elderly woman saw me looking at a map with a confused expression, and she walked with me for 10 minutes to make sure I got to the right train platform. I learned that you don't always need to have a lot of words to communicate. A smile or a simple gesture can go a long way. That trip taught me to be more independent and to not be afraid of the unknown. I'd recommend a solo trip to everyone at least once in their life. Let's quickly look at just a couple of phrases from that story. I had to just go for it. The phrase, go for it, is an idiom that means to decide to do something, to take a chance. Had to often becomes had to, so I had to just go for it. And the phrase, one of the best experiences. One of the is often reduced to one of the. Listen, one of the best experiences. This pattern of reducing of the is something you will hear all the time. By recognizing these tiny common patterns, the entire landscape of spoken English begins to clear up. It's like learning to see the individual trees instead of just a blurry forest. You have done an absolutely phenomenal job today. We have traveled through coffee shops, clothing stores, airports, and even into people's memories, all to train your ears. Remember, listening is not a passive skill, it is an active one. It's about recognizing patterns, anticipating reductions, and feeling the rhythm of the language. The key is consistent practice. You don't need to study for hours and hours. Just spending a little bit of time each day actively listening and shadowing like we did today will make a massive difference. You are building a new instinct for the English language. Thank you so much for joining me, Jessica, on this episode of English in Advance. I truly hope you found this practice helpful and that you're leaving with more confidence than when you started. If you enjoyed this listening experience and want to continue improving with me, please make sure to subscribe to our channel. That way, you'll never miss a lesson. Keep practicing, keep listening, and remember that every conversation you hear is an opportunity to learn. Until next time, take care and keep advancing your English.